When I was a young man, very young man, long before I was interested generally in the Bible, and certainly long before I ever contemplated I'd be doing this for a living, I was attracted to the book of Ecclesiastes because of a song by the Byrds, a very good song. They took the portion of Ecclesiastes that we're supposed to read for today's lesson and not only set it to music, but made a very good song. And so I thought, if it's that good, I want to read the whole book. And I did. And I was profoundly disappointed. It seemed to my young man mind that the author of Ecclesiastes was clinically depressed. In the first version of it I read, he proclaimed that all is vanity. So I read a more recent or updated translation, and it said all is futility. That seems to me to be the opposite of faith. If everything is hopeless, if everything is futile. But I think we have to acknowledge a couple of things. First of all, there is a realism here that cannot be ignored. Life is not always good, and we can't just pretend that things are better than they are. But I think it also bears remembering that the teacher in Ecclesiastes is talking mainly about a person who thinks of himself. And from a personal point of view, things often do seem futile because all of us will have to die. This life will have to end. But if we look at larger life and look at what can be accomplished when people work together, when they have relationships, when they cooperate, it's a very different story. As I've said before, throughout the Bible, we see a progression of humanity, a progression in humanity's understanding of God and in our closer relationship to God. In this book, there's very little about God, almost nothing about a relationship with God, and yet that's where the hope in life is. Against the stark background of living for ourselves and concentrating only on ourselves is a much wider, richer, joyful life. When people combine their gifts given to us by God to work under God's rule, to help God's kingdom come and God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven, great things can be accomplished. Great things that last beyond our lives, things that are worthwhile. And so, in spite of the hopelessness that people have when they concentrate only on themselves, we have the everlasting hope that comes from our faith in our Lord Jesus Christ, who bids us to work together, to be together, to have a relationship with each other and with our God. So let's read Ecclesiastes, but let's read it for what it is and in contrast to who we are.